I want to take the next few minutes and explain to you what we're actually about to do so you'll know what to expect. I'm a big believer in inspecting what you expect. First, let me say this clearly. This is not a sales meeting. This is not about convincing you to do anything today. And this is definitely not about telling you that you've done something wrong. The purpose of the $1 Million Hour is simple: to show you the difference between what you are doing now and what might be able to serve you better with the same money, the same time, and often less risk. Most people have never been shown alternatives. They were only shown options inside a very narrow system. Almost everyone I meet believes they're doing pretty well, and on paper, that often looks true. But what matters isn't how your account looks today. What matters is what your money is actually capable of doing over time. There's always a gap between what your money is currently achieving and what it could be achieving if it followed different rules. We call that gap lost time. And lost time is far more expensive than lost money. On your street, retirement is not built on hope, projections, or averages. It's built on guarantees. Everything we do is anchored to what we call the 7 guaranteed pillars of retirement. These pillars answer one simple question: what must be true for your plan to actually work, no matter what the market does? Most people have never seen their retirement evaluated this way, not because it's complex, but because guarantees don't exist on most streets. And why we say your money, your rules, your time on your street. This phrase isn't branding, it's a declaration. On other streets, your money follows their rules, their timelines, and their risk. On your street, money serves your priorities. Your time is respected and your risk is allocated, not accepted blindly. This is the moment most people realize they've never chose the rules they're living under. Next is the FIRE strategy, the structural difference. Everything on your street is guided by a framework called FIRE, F-I-A-A-R. F is a 0% floor. First, a 0% floor means no market losses ever. You don't have to make it back because you never gave it up. IA is income from assets. Second, income is generated from assets, not withdrawals. Most retirement plans consume themselves. Yours should never do that. Then AR is allocation and risk. Third is the risk is allocated, not concentrated. Some money can grow, some money must protect, and some money must pay you. When everything is exposed to loss, nothing is protected. So the next section is the 4 categories of assets and what you've never been shown. All money goes into one of 4 categories. Whether you've named them or not, most people believe there's only 2. But the truth is, it's not a binary alternative. Assets at risk are designated as AAR. They're defined as anything that can go down more in one day than it might come back in a year. Then there's NPA, or non-performing assets, safe but stagnant. It's like bank accounts. It doesn't lose, but it doesn't do much else either. Then underperforming assets, or what I classify as UPA, they're better than non-performing assets, but not as good as fully performing assets. They generally earn what I classify as inflation plus administrative costs. And then there's fully performing assets. This is where your street is different. Fully performing assets generally can earn 5 to 15 different pillars. Pillars do more than one job at the same time. They protect, they grow, they generate income, and they preserve time. Most people have never been shown how to build these ever before. Where these pillars came from. These pillars didn't come from Wall Street, and they didn't come from theory. They came from solving the same problem over and over for real families. How do we create certainty in an uncertain world? And when you remove speculation, something interesting happens. Clarity replaces complexity. Side by side, the three streets compared. Let's simplify this. On Wall Street, growth is hypothetical, losses are tolerated, time is assumed, and income is uncertain. On your street, growth is structured, losses are removed, time is maximized, and income is engineered. This is why goals that take lifetimes on other streets can often be achieved in decades on your street. The $1 Million Hour Forecast is next. This is where most people stop me and say, why has no one ever told me this before? And almost always followed by, I wish I'd started this 20 years ago. You can't plant a tree 20 years ago, but you can plant it today and stop losing time. The next step is your $1 Million Hour Forecast. This is where we model your future based upon what you believe will happen and what happens if guarantees replace guesswork. No pressure, no assumptions, just clarity. Because once you see the difference between the streets, you can never unsee it. And from that moment on, the only real question becomes, which street should my money live on, or which allocation should I employ? Now's a good time if you have any questions. Otherwise, let's begin.